Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to analyze the hands of Corey Eyring. It's his last video, I think, for his series, which is risking his entire bankroll. So let's start. I will give my honest opinion at the end. You will be shocked. I'm sure you will be shocked about my opinion. So let's start. Okay, so here I skipped to the first hand, which is nines, as we see. Let's watch. Just a note, I watched the video before, but I will be giving my reactions as if it's my first time. It will be the same reactions that I did when I first watched this video. Okay, let's start. Okay, so here he got nines, pocket nines.
In a couple different places tonight.
The straddle calls. We go off to a flop. Straddle checks to me. Even though we have an overpair, this board is a lot better for the straddler, meaning he'll have all the sets, two pairs, straight draws, straight flush draws. There's a lot going on for him, and there's not as much going on for me in terms of our range. So when that's the case, I'm going to check more often and bet bigger when I do. I toss out $200. Our opponent immediately check raises to 620. Alarm bells are starting to go off, but we can't go anywhere just yet. It's also
Okay, so here his thinking is very good. He needs to he needs a continuation bet, and he needs it to be big. He wants to test what his opponent have. Now here in this case, our villain, which is his opponent, he he raised to 620. So also his opponent is thinking the same way. So I think calling here is good. We will see. We want to call his raise. Maybe he is drawing to a straight or a flush. So calling is good, and we try to scare him on the turn or river. Let's see.
early on in the stream to where I think he could be making a move, trying to get me to fold out any two big cards. I make the call.
Okay, he
Turn
called. Very good.
is one of the worst in the deck. Now a lot of pair plus straight draws like 6-5, 5-4, 7-5, they all improve to two pair, and even pocket fives improves to a set. Flush draws with a five, pick up additional equity. Or we could just be very far behind a straight.
When you are behind in a spot like this, Corey,
Okay, here his friend is giving him advice. I don't know about this advice, but anyway.
And even if he's bluffing with a flush draw, he still has equity. It's very early in the stream. We could be ahead here because our opponent is just trying to set the tone, but I think there's going to be easier spots than this.
Okay, here he folded. For me, I think first he has a straight draw if the eight comes. So I think it's not bad to call here. And try to get an eight and get it straight. His opponent showed too much strength. For me, on this board, and when my opponent shows that much strength, I don't care about the pot anymore. I will fold. So I think this play is good by Corey. He did what he needed to do. He tried to scare his opponent away, but his opponent is he didn't got scared. So that's it. Or maybe he put Corey on, for example, maybe ace king, ace queen, ace jack, something like this. So, but also there is a flush options at the river. So for me, a call is not it's not too bad. So I would call, and on the river, if a flush completes, I would try to bluff. But since the opponent is raising too much, and he is very uh, he is very, if you want, aggressive. A fold is not, it's not too bad. I think it's a good play by Corey.
I just fold.
Good fold, good fold. Oh my god. Our villain takes this one down. No, seriously, Corey, good fold, good fold, good fold. Good hand. Oh my god,
The very next shuffle, the same player opens to 180 bucks. I shove more chips in his face, and he folds. A better hand.
Go fold, go fold.
His opponent only knows two words: good fold, good fold, good fold, good fold. He will say good fold for anything. Even if his opponent didn't fold, good fold, good fold.
I'm in the big blind with pocket aces. Two players limp to me. I raised $250.
Let's make it 5 to play.
I will have that chat open. Three coin is picked the wrong time to free bet. Wrong hand also, but
Okay, the three bet is nice. You want to thin the field. Here, three coin. We know him. I watched him in a couple of hands. He's a maniac, so he three bet to 500. In this situation, for me, I would either go all in or I would raise really big, like 2000, 2500.
certainly the wrong time.
I want to punish him for raising three betting weak, or if he really has a good hand, I'm dominating this hand anyway.
Great spot for Corey.
Y'all know, I've noticed in watching me, when I don't look at my cards again, that means I know what I have.
Hello. He knows what he has.
There's no nervous looking. I know what I have.
Gonna be honest, I have no idea what he said.
I have no idea also what he said.
Aces, so
I want to say something here. For you who might say uh, you want to trap with aces. Aces, it's the best hand. It's the best starting hand. Your hand is seven cards, not two cards. So it's the best starting hand. But it's not like it's vulnerable to be dominated. You don't want that. You don't want too many limpers, and you don't want for your opponent to see many cards. You want to try to scare him off the pot immediately, unless you see the pot and the pot favors you really good, like you got a set on a non-scary board.
I'm gonna put in another raise.
Your mama didn't
I think 1300 is good. I would like it more. I would like to scare him off immediately. I already took the 500 and the couple of hundreds from the other limpers. It's okay with me. Why, why risk it and see the flop?
these games.
Like Corey's sizing here. No need to go huge. Your opponent's not very deep. Three coins. Also the sort of player
Tell you what,
who tempted by
I'm gonna have to call it.
good pot odds.
Thank you very much, brother. 10 minutes into the night, we go off to a flop with $3,000 in the middle, and it's overkill.
I'm gonna mirror whatever you do.
Top set for Corey. Three coin flops a piece as well.
Look at my hand again. I got distracted, forgot what I have. I got a bigger stack than you. It has nothing to do with that. But it does help that I'm gonna felt you. I'm all in.
Oh boy. An all in and a snap call.
It's not a foreshadow.
It better not be.
drawing to a king.
Oh my God! No.
Okay, so here three coin went all in. He has queen 10 and the board is ace, jack, queen. For this board, what are the options that his opponent may have? He may have ace queen, he may have ace jack, which Corey dominates. He may have ace king. It's not that far because the way three coin played it, he played it really aggressive. So I would not be surprised if he have ace king. He would have queens, jacks, or kings, or he would have queen jack, or the hand that we are afraid of mostly, which is king 10 or a flush draw. But since Corey have aces and he has improved to a set, it's also easy to improve to a full house, and he will have the not full house. So I think here all in is natural. It's natural.
Not like this. Please, not like this. Once or twice, sure.
Whatever you want.
I normally just run once, but you're the smaller stack. I don't care.
Yeah, Corey, just choose whatever you feel like it. Yeah,
We're even. I will give you the opportunity.
Let's go twice.
Two times.
Good luck.
Corey's entire net worth is on the table, so
Randy has 4 outs. He's drawing to a king and only a king.
Nick, don't even look at the board.
definitely wants.
Randy turns a king. He improves to a straight on the first card.
Twice.
We know Corey's luck.
King.
For sure he will
Massive
he
favor
will turn a
against the
king.
underdog. Unless the board pairs, we lose $5,000.
For 3 coin.
Still a river, still a river,
Still needs to dodge a board pair.
Tell
And he
me
does.
what's really going on.
3 coin wins the first run out.
Now if Randy hits another king, we lose the entire pot. I'm sick to my stomach. What's the likelihood that we chop, let alone get scooped? It's not a foreshadow.
See if he can find a king again.
It's got chop written on it.
It does.
Nice in. Instead of being up $5,000 early, we're still stuck 500. Kind of sucks, but you just gotta shake it off and continue pushing forward. My God. Aces into a gut shot. 95. Then I play a $1,000 pot against Nick. He flops top pair. I flop nothing. I check. He bets. I fold. Then we play a hand with ace-7 of hearts. I flop a pair and a backdoor flush draw. But Nick flopped top pair. Nick bets $320. 4 ways against this size. I think we can just let it go right here.
Ready to invest in real estate but don't want the hassle? Look no further and join Smart Crowd.
Okay, Corey got aces again, which is good. We have a raise to $120. Now Corey raises anything less than 700 is not good. Okay, 740. On tilt Nick he calls with 740 for king 10. I don't know how someone can call king 10 for that big of a raise.
He flops the middle pair.
Okay, he flops middle pair. Now, here's the thing. The flop isn't too much scary. So, on tilt Nick may have flush draw, he may have straight draw, and he may have 10 jack, which is the worst hand, tens, jacks. These are the 3 baddest hands. he may have ace jack, ace 10, ace queen, ace king. For me, I would, since he called, I would put him on a pair, maybe a small pair. But I don't know about Nick, so now that I know Nick, I would put him on any hand. So I mostly on this flop, I think Nick has mostly a pair. Since I know him that he plays like very loose and doesn't care about the rules, etc., etc. I know that he mostly have a pair. So I would exploit this. And the way to exploit this is by either going all in or raising big. So checking is good, and when Nick raises, I would make him go all in. He will be scared, and if not, he will go all in with me, and we can see two rivers and turns. So, but the ultimate thing is for me now is to raise a continuation, a huge continuation bet. I want to scare him away if he has a straight or flush draw. Okay, so this check is a little bit good if he is planning to go all in on the after Nick raises. If he is not planning to re-raise, this is very bad because now Nick thinks that Corey he didn't pair anything, and he has maybe pocket nines, pocket sevens. So you want to know what to give your opponent, what to tell, what story do you want to tell your opponent. Here on this kind of flop, and since there is so much money in the pot, we don't want to give him a story we are weak. The only time we give a story we are weak is when we have the when we have the nuts and the nuts that cannot be changed. So, for example, on a three card and we have the set and the three card doesn't have any flush or straight draws, or if we have flopped full house from the beginning, or if we flopped a straight. It's okay if he has a set and he improved to a full house, but his percentage is so low. So here, in this case, we don't want to give a story we are weak. We want to give a story we are strong, and we want to scare him away. So this check is a mistake for sure.
Check, check.
Okay, he checked.
Corey for sure has the green light to bet now.
Now the problem is if Corey now bets, he will appear as if he's trying to steal the pot, which Nick will not fold. So this is bad. So he called very fast. Now, okay, I know that Nick will get there on the river. I know it because I watched the video before, but here we don't know about Nick what he have. So we don't want him to have two pairs. We don't want him to have his straight that he is waiting for. We don't want him to have a straight on a queen. Let's say the nine came on the river. We want to scare him before he sees five cards. So now he will not be scared. He will be thinking like Corey is trying to scare him away. Because if Corey is waiting for a straight on the flop, he would have raised him on the flop. So this is the biggest mistake that Corey made.
1500 and a quick call. Oh boy, and Corey's aces again don't hold up. That's not a good card for him. Might think his hand is good enough to value bet anyway.
I don't think any bet will make Nick fold now that he have two pair. Of course, he will be scared of straight options, straight from Corey, but he will not fold.
King Queen.
Unless he goes all in, and if he
Willing.
is calling station, he will call anyway.
22, snap call.
Yes, so 22 is not a fold for Nick.
$9,000 pot.
Then we have pocket fours against ace 10. Great. I don't put any more money in the pot. I check fold.
Corey down 5,500.
Jesus, dude, what the? I am really deflated, man.
Someone limps, the cutoff raises to 160, and the button calls. I have king nine of hearts. We're out of position with a good hand, but we could be dominated by stronger kings, and this hand doesn't perform great six ways out of position.
Considering a free bet.
I'd rather thin the field or take it down pre-flop.
850. 850? Made it 850.
Okay, so 850 made them fold.
Ace is a third time for Corey.
Okay, aces. Now let's see if he can hold this
This time,
time.
I'm gonna sweat. Everyone folds. I guess that's
Okay, they folded.
No action this time, though.
No, I was dead. I was dead. I'm playing I had Jack six. That ain't even been invented yet. I'm doing shit that they ain't called now.
Hey, top pair, brother. I would call it.
I had Jack six, brother.
I don't think anybody's ever gotten doom zoomed while enjoying a slice of cheesecake before.
Game right now, y'all. Don't forget to tip your dealers.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. No, thank you, if you know what I'm saying.
I think he's saying thank you.
You know what? I got so many chips in front of me. I hate to get out of it
So
right now.
what I realized is Corey's pre-flop game is tight. He knows what he is doing pre-flop. I think he mastered pre-flop game, but he needs to work on his post flop, on his turn and river, because I think that is where his weakness lies.
Let's make it 3 to play. Nick, please call. I love that about you, my man.
Three Coins outfit, it's like sort of like a Cool Keith meets Devo kind of thing.
You know what? I don't mind doubling up to triple up. Sit on me again. No. That was a raise, wasn't it?
Corey.
Okay, so 1400 is good. It's good. He will make them fold. Unless on tilt Nick. Okay, on tilt Nick. I don't know about these on tilt guys. They they like to call very loosely and call very big raises.
Sort of like a genie plus Devo.
Okay, so the same mistake as before. The same mistake as before. Why are you giving a story that you are weak? Just continuation bet, a large continuation bet. Now, okay, your opponent may bluff you now, which you will, in this case, you will benefit, but uh, you don't want to, you don't want him to bluff you and get there on the river. This is first. And second, tens are vulnerable. You don't want to play them like this because if he has ace jack, it will it will be very likely that he will either get there on the turn or on the river. You don't want him to see the turn or the river. On the flop, there is a queen. You want to bluff on the queen. You want to see if he have it. If he doesn't have it, trust me, he will fold. If you play enough hands, you will start to see patterns. And this is one of the patterns. Unless he is a maniac or a loose aggressive player. And if he have a pocket pairs, he will let you know when you raise him on the turn. Sorry, on the flop.
Check marks.
Holy shit.
And
Oh shit,
9K.
2,000 over there. You said you got 8? 9.
So you see his body language. His body language is so weak. He is afraid of anything because we all know it. He is risking all his money, so he will be scared of anything. And the queen obviously scared him away. It scared him very much. So
2,000 from Nick. Corey's surely going to be calling at least once. He's induced this bluff from Nick.
I got those on sale. PDD had a federal auction.
okay, so until Nick bets $2,000, please don't fold. That's what happened when you don't make a continuation bet.
You know, Taquan got to say some in the ways to put in the
Oh,
Okay.
I was going to rip flop. Thank God I didn't.
Corey lets it go.
ah, it's
I feel like
so
a fucking
tilting,
failure, dude.
and I'm so angry. This is not a
Just
good
playing like
play.
shit today. 8-6 horrible. Aces horrible. Check is horrible. Fold on the turn is horrible. Already
How are you going to win if you play only your aces till the end, and your aces you play when they got there, you let them got till the river, so they will win, and if they don't get there, they will not give you so much money. And on the pots that you are weak, but you have something, you give them the pot for free. How are you going to win?
blundered 3 times today. I'm so defeated and the game is still playing. I just
That's why I remembered something very important. How to win at poker. It's very easy. On your big hands, you want to win all the time, for sure. On your intermediate hands, you want to win 50% where you really deserve to win, and 30% when you bluff. And on your weak hands, you want to win 30-40% on a bluff, and the other you will give away. So that way you will win. But here in his case, he is only winning on his very good hands where he has the nuts. On his intermediate hands, he is winning 0%. And on his weak hands, he is winning 0%. How is he going to win money?
win aces. It's just an entirely different mindset. I don't know. We're down $8,000 at this point. It's like, even if I double up, I'm even.
That's why I made a course on this channel for all the types of players. It's really beneficial, and every hand you play in poker, it will give you points. So poker, if you want to become better at, it's about how much points you have. So every hand will give you 1 point, 2 points, 5 points, 10, 20, and watching a tutorial, for sure it will give you points because it will teach you things that you will realize after playing, for example, 5,000 hands. So why not take it? Uh, and in my course, I'm giving the things, all the points that I managed to get. So I'm giving in the videos. So for that reason, I remembered now to tell you, please subscribe and watch my videos.
$200.
It's tough, really tough. So here I will skip. He won this hand. It's a bump pot. He won about, I don't know, maybe 2,000.
Big draw on the bottom. I thought it was the six of diamonds.
Okay, now he have ace six of diamonds, of hearts, sorry.
Bump it up. Oh, sorry. 44.
Three bet from Dusty.
I got a feeling Corey's got a better
Okay, it's not a bad call.
Three ways.
Ace six is good. 440 is not like the worst amount.
500.
And goes for the donk bet. I believe
Okay,
Dusty wants to
he bet 500, which is good. Now on tilt Eric, I know for sure he will call because
shot.
him and Nick are calling stations. So you need to label players
Check.
in order to know what to do with them.
Now has thought about the size he would like to play in this scenario.
So here the queen came. The queen came. The queen is a scare card. So he checked on the turn. If you plan to check and re-raise, it's okay. You are saying I want to appear weak because I have the nuts, which is 4 7, for example. But if you plan to check and then call or maybe fold, it's a bad check.
He checks. And calls.
Okay, the call, I don't know if he did it intentionally or not, but here the call made Eric think that he has the nut straight. So that's why I think now Nick, I don't know what his name is afraid.
In the pot, and Eric does not improve.
Eric.
Check.
So that's why Eric checked. So his check on the turn served him, and especially that he called after he was raised, served him the purpose of appearing strong, which is I think he did it unintentionally. I would hope that he did it intentionally.
Another barrel would have worked.
Hey, some real fucking good calls from you guys on that 440. I mean, seriously.
Hey, you better stay locked in.
Frankie with an air ball. Not the turn card Corey wanted to see. Frankie has so much.
This turn card is very bad. For me, if I see this turn card, I would shut off. Any raise from Frankie, it's a fault.
But he checks back, and gets there on the river anyway. I'm not sure his hand is good enough to value bet.
Oh, that's what it is. That's a PAT.
Yeah, there's a check.
Frankie didn't have the guts to raise.
I wanted to, but I couldn't. Little money in the snow. He's from Pittsburgh. 2 field goals and a touchdown.
It's okay. This hand is okay.
Corey, keep in mind, brother, that was under the gun +1. I mean, that's showing a lot of strength here.
That's why you're like, okay, that's why you're like, that's why you're saying.
Corey's got Dusty dominated.
Wham!
Dusty is not very deep. He's going to continue. There's a jack for Dusty. Corey with a gut shot. And got a call now. Dusty is the favorite at this point.
Okay, so here Dusty is short stacked, so I think it's not a bad play, specifically that Corey has a straight draw and he has ace queen, which is high, so maybe Dusty have ace 10, ace jack, so he can get there. No, he will. So I think here Corey didn't think too much about what Dusty have, because if you put Dusty on a range, it's not good for you. So if Dusty, what's his range? Maybe ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, maybe sometimes ace king, not too much. Um, Queen jack, queen 10. King jack, king 10, jacks, tens, and most of these hands, Corey's EV is not so good. So I think maybe he could check here and see if Dusty wants to go all in. Then he have a choice if he wants to see a card or not.
Twice. Twice is good. I got Jack. You're good. Jack's good?
I'd run it once and that's over. Courtesy twice, and that's over.
Yeah.
Here Corey got lucky.
I'm pre-tipping to Dusty.
So here he got an ace.
You got an ace. You're good, brother, on that one. I got an ace.
So Corey wins the first run on.
And here I got the king, so he got lucky.
Diamonds though for Dusty. And Corey's going to scoop it. Dusty loses about 14K. 3 coins down about 10,000. The rest of the players near even.
This is easily the biggest pot of the night. I pick up king 9 of diamonds in the low jack. I raise to $150. Randy min clicks me to 300. Then Nick re-raises to 800. Frankie thinks about it for like 15 seconds. Then he cold calls. Dusty calls. And Eric calls. Action's back on me. There's nearly $4,000 of dead money in the middle. Randy's been min clicking all night. He does this with any 2 random cards. Nick knows this, so he re-raised Randy trying to isolate him. Frankie is the only one with a real hand here, in my opinion. Dusty and Eric would put in another raise if they had legitimate hands. They just called because they think they're getting a great price.
So you see his pre-flop action. He is good at it. He is strong. He knows what he is doing, and his raising and raising he is good. The problem is after the flop.
Tight. If I go all in for $14,000, what the fuck is he going to do with jacks or queens? I don't think he's going to want to flip, which means we're only getting called by aces or kings. He's folding jacks, queens, ace, king, in my opinion. If he block kings, I think there's a decent frequency he'd raise again with aces, because you don't want to go 6 ways with that hand. If Frankie calls, then it incentivizes everyone else to call behind him. So I think Frankie would min click again with aces. I just don't think I think he's capped. I think he has jacks, queens, or ace, king, even ace, queen, ace, jack. He has a real hand, but I could too. I could have aces, kings, queens, ace, king. If I purely jam with those hands, he should fold queens because my range is so strong. And I'm like broke. This money means so much to me. Who in their right mind would jam king nine of diamonds? It's just not a thing. I'm going to get so much credit. This is going to look like aces or kings, without a doubt. I'm just going to let it play out from here.
What
What
be
is
six
going
aces
on?
in this deck.
Eric calls. Finally, someone folds.
Okay, so here he shoved. He shoved his stack. Now the problem with his shove is there are short stacks on the table. So if Dusty, for example, have good hand, it's not a problem for him if he shoved also. And the same for Eric, on Tilt Eric. For sure he has been losing all night, and the Queen 10 is a shove for him. He's tilted maybe, etc., etc. So, and there are five other players. For sure, one of them is strong. So this shove is, of course, we all know it. It's a brutal mistake. It's a punt. Too bad.
Corey hasn't bluffed much tonight, hasn't gotten way out of line. I don't see him continuing, but it looks like he's at least thinking about it.
Clock.
Wow, he jams. Wow. King 9 suited. As tight as Corey has played tonight, I mean, this just looks like the nuts. He might get Frankie to fold pocket queens.
Yes, I did.
Okay, here on tilt Eric called and he got a 10 on the turn, I think, or on the river. So here's what we concluded from his play. He needs to be more aggressive. He's not aggressive enough, especially on the turn and on the river. He needs to be more aggressive. And what he is doing is when he have good hands, he is trying to trap, which he's trying to trap, which gives his opponent the chance to make it on the turn or on the river. So on his good hands, he has a percentage of 60-70% to win. And on his bad hands, he is trying to bluff sometimes or he is folding. So he is either punting his money or he is folding, losing it anyway. So if you think about it logically, he's not going to lose anyway. There is no way for him to win. There is no way for him to win in the long run. So this is a bad strategy. He needs to look really into his strategy and work on it and change the way he works. This realization I got after I really looked into my strategy and what I'm playing. All the intermediate players play like this. So I started realizing like all my big hands I'm trying to trap and the player if he improves on the river he will make me go all in and I will lose my stack. Or he will just check and try to see if he can find a good card. And on my losing hands, even I'm trying to bluff, which I'm punting money away because basically most of the players are calling stations. You will realize that after. In my videos, I talk about them so much. You can see the tight aggressive playlist, and then it is the only one who is not a calling station, and some nets are a calling station. I have seen some net players as calling stations, but mostly any other player is a calling station unless you know how to bluff them and there is a story with your bluff, which is also I'm showing in one of my previous streams if you want to see it. So that's it. I think Corey, he is a talented poker player, but he needs to work on his strategy and on his post flop game. So, but when he works on that, he will be a beast. Like if he can play post flop like he plays pre flop, for sure he will be a beast. Thank you for giving me time and watching, and I will see you in another video. Thank you.